Good morning, everyone, or at least it's morning here in lovely New Hampshire in New England. I'm Dr. Julie Alig, aka the Data Diva, and I wanted to jump on here real quick and share a little bit from a talk I gave last week to a group of business brokers here in the Northeast. The attendees were really intrigued by one part of it, applying the 80-20 rule to a business to figure out how to improve its profitability, and so how to increase how much it's worth and how much it sells for. I decided to jump on here and share this with you all. The 80-20 rule, also called the Pareto Principle, is all around us. Think of your iPhone or your smartphone. You use 20% of the apps 80% of the time. Think about the clothes in your closet. You wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. 80% of software problems are caused by 20% of the bugs. 80% of complaints that a business gets are made by 20% of customers. You get the drift here. Now, one question that I did get last week was, all right, is this always a hard and fast 80-20? And to that, I say no. Sometimes it's a 90-10, sometimes it's a 70-30, but the foundational idea remains the same. A smaller proportion has an outsized effect on the results. So let's jump in real quick, and I've got a couple of pictures for you to illustrate what the heck I'm actually talking about. So here, the Pareto Principle, aka the 80-20 rule. So it's called Pareto after an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, who coined this, the 80-20 rule, in the beginning of the 20th century, where he found that 20% of the residents in Italy owned 80% of Italian land. So here we've got our nice pie chart here. And basically, again, is it always 80-20? No, not really. But good rule of thumb, 80% of the effects of something come from 20% of the causes. And in a business context, especially, it's important to focus on those vital few. So that 20% here in the pie chart here, it's the gray part, right? The 20%. Okay. Now, let's apply it to business, which is what some MIT researchers did. So here is a second pie chart. And you'll notice that instead of just two sections, we've got three sections, A, B, and C. Now, imagine this. If you're a business and you want to figure out which of your products or services are generating a profit, right? So here, section A, those are the ones that are generating a profit. Awesome. Look at section of the pie, section C here. These are the ones that aren't making a profit. They're just not. They're in the red. And now this is the slight tweak that the MIT researchers were talking about. What about section B here? The profits here. What about section B here? The products where the profits are marginally profitable. So these are the products where, if we look at how profitable they are, they're going to vary between the black and the red, right? But no matter what, group B is not a group of products that you can count on to be making you money in a business. And so Talking to these business brokers last week, I explained to them if we want to increase the business's valuation, or depending on the size of the business, at a minimum, we want to increase its sale price, right? You want to be showing positive cash flow. And knowing exactly where to focus your efforts and your resources is a really powerful strategy to do just that. So imagine if you're a business and you focused your marketing, for example, on the products in section C. Think about the impact that's going to have on your bottom line. If you're already not making money on those and you just keep pushing more money, more resources, what have you, probably not going to change that very much. However, what about if you focused on section A and how that will impact your bottom line and how that's going to impact your cash flow? So when we've got an analysis like this in hand, we are much better positioned to make strategic changes in a business, like focusing on the high performing products or services, right? Divesting out of underperforming areas, or at a minimum, taking a hard look at those to see just what level of resources, what level of support they really merit. This is also the way to start thinking, okay, I need to optimize my pricing strategies. And this is also the way to start thinking about how are you targeting not just any old customer segment, but the right customer segments. So that's what I talked about last week with a group of business brokers up here in the Northeast of the United States. I'd love to hear what you think about this. Is this something that you had ever considered applying to your business or to some businesses you work with? What do you see when you break down your products this way into these sections or into these buckets? Let me know. Drop them in the comments. And if you're interested in this kind of analysis, this is just scratching the surface, but this is the kind of analysis I do for my clients all the time. You can check out in the description below. I do an 80/20 diagnostic where I will actually go through a business's products and services and figure this out to help them make those strategic decisions based on data. And I use the exact same data that your accountant uses. All right, signing off for now from snowy New England. Go forth and analyze.